Okay, so far what's happened is we had that little piece that was coming down and going into there. I cut it off. You can see it over here. You can see how it went down and then it kind of curved in. Anyway, the pipe coming out of from underneath the concrete sits about that far above the foundation concrete right there that bucket's setting on. So there's a very tight fit. So I couldn't put a new fitting on there. So what I ended up having to do is kind of get a coupler. The way I cut it, I was able to keep enough of this portion of it, which is the same size as the pipe, and that way I could fit about halfway. I could get a coupler to slide over and stay on for the most part, and then I just really put a lot of extra glue on there to help fit it on there. And I kind of tilted it just a little bit to give me just a little bit more space so I could get this catch basin in here. Okay, so it worked out okay. I'm gonna have to go back and silicone around it because there's a few gaps in there, and that should do it. And since this sits so close to the wall, I couldn't get an ordinary catch basin because of the piping. Okay, normally I would buy the pre-made black catch basins. They're better, they're stronger, all that good stuff. But I didn't have that, and I couldn't make one of those work, so I made a custom one. This is a container, a storage container. They're like $7 or so at Lowe's or Walmart, wherever you want to get one. Anyway, I had a trial run with this one over here. And what I did is I initially tried to use a reciprocating saw to cut the hole, and I did it on the side because I was going to have it go in there like this instead of like this. Two problems: this little handle down here was getting in the way and hitting the wall, so that was giving me issues. So at the end of the day, I said, forget it, we're going to get a new one. And then the reciprocating saw did a terrible job cutting the hole. I had issues there. So but what I did do is, since I had an extra one, I went ahead and did a trial run and used a Dremel and used a magic marker, outlined my hole, used a Dremel, and fit it over that coupling right there to make sure if I used a new one, it would work. Okay, so that's essentially what I did there. Then on the top, I just took the lid and, as you can see, cut a square out of it, and then I took a piece of expanded metal, and that's just laying on top of that deal. It'll work okay, I think. It'll keep the leaves and whatnot out. I'll probably use some sort of wire or little tiny U-shaped bolts or something, or maybe some screws with some big heads in them or something, to hold that plate on top of that lid. It's just setting on there right now. Eventually what's going to happen is there's going to be a line running right here, a drain line coming through, French drain line that is, coming through, teeing up right there, and then you're going to have a piece that goes in here. And then this piece is going to obviously go down there. And then we're going to go up the way here, and then we're going to do another tiled drain pipe, or perforated drain pipe over here, and probably along that wall right there. So we'll collect all that water, and all this water, and it's going to go into that bin and then go down the pipe there. So anyway, that's the idea. Alright, later. Okay, so here's what we've done so far. We've went in here and we put a drainage pipe in, and that's going to have a little extender that comes up. Same thing over here, I just capped it a little bit differently, but there's a drain pipe right there, a drain pipe obviously right there. They meet up. Now that is not a perforated pipe, that is a solid pipe all the way into my catch basin. Okay, Then I've got this one running into a T right there about, and then it goes in there. Into the catch basin as well. It has, the slope isn't great on it. I wish it was a little more slope, but it works. I tested it. It does drain water into the catch basin. This is a storage container. I think I showed you last time that I had to custom build because I didn't have anything that would work. Here we have a piece of downspout that I drilled holes into the top of and put ends on both ends, and that is to address all the water that builds up along here. I'm hoping it'll drain off into that. I'm going to kind of seal this little gap up so the water will have to go into there, and then there's some holes that go right there. There's a little piece of pipe that goes in to the catch basin, so that drains in there, this drains in there, all this stuff drains in there. So that's where we're at on this side. So the next thing to do is to put our railroad tie in. When we get over to here, I'm going to stop it short, and then we're going to do another one on top of that. It's going to lay over the top like so. That's the idea. And then we're going to have another one meeting it. So anyway, and then in the middle of that over there, we're going to plant like a tree or something. And this is all going to be pavers. What I'm probably going to do here is lay some of that PVC material in here so it drains this way and goes towards the perforated pipe down here, and then it drains back that way. So, because I really don't want water building up against the house per se. I want it to filter into that deal. So that's where we're at. I'm going to start on that side now, putting drainage pipe in. Right, later. Well, we had a day off from work, but the rain decided to come in and shut us down. So we've got our drain pipe installed and whatnot. I'll go back over that on another video. But Tropical Storm Bill is really screwing up my timeline. So anyway, but I do want to show you something that's kind of cool. Where all these drain pipes come to, it comes out in the front here. And there's a pipe. This is the pipe that I've always talked about running underneath the ground. And you can see it. It's just it's like a little stream right now. Let me turn it back down. It's like a stream, pretty much. I mean, it is just going. And that's taking all that stuff from that French drain, all that water, and all that gutter water, and it's just funneling it out here and then down the street there. So anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. But anyway, that's about it. Okay, so just a little bit of update on the project. We have, I think I've showed you all the pipe. We've actually got our this side pretty much done. We got to put the downspout pipes going up with the atrium grates on top. Got to do that and got to fill it in with topsoil. But here's kind of the idea of what we're going for. As you can see, 2 layers here. That's all going to be dirt in there, and then there's going to be a tree there. Got to fill this in with paver steel. For some reason, this pipe actually has came up. For some reason, I think with all the rain, something happened. I don't know. But anyway, so on this side, what we've done is you can actually see we've put our piping in, going all the way. We got that's going to have an atrium grate. There's going to be an atrium grate there. Same story, atrium grate, and then down there's an atrium grate. Okay, and then there's a pipe that comes across right here, connecting. There's actually this goes like this, and then this one starts there and goes down there. So that and that are not connected, but anyway, that should give us plenty of drainage, probably more than necessary. Now what this is where I'm going to put my railroad ties. What I've done here is I've drawn a string line to give me a pretty good line to stack them, and then I leveled that. I leveled the one going from the wall there out. Okay, so the idea is that all this will be level with this right here. Okay, that's the idea. And then once we get those landscape timbers in, that first level will drive the rebar into them, and it'll hold it. Now, what I got to be careful about is a couple different things. The water meter is somewhere out there, and it comes into the house somewhere around in here, roughly. So what I do is I use some brass rods and I witch it. Yeah, it works okay. So I got to be careful not to break my water main, because when I drive those rebar in. Because if I was just digging, I wouldn't break it, but actually driving the rebar into the ground, that's where it would get me. The other thing I got to be careful of is not to break my pipe that I put in already. So right there and right there, I got to miss the pipe when I put the rebar in. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. This is all leveled off. All that gravel's about 7 inches below that line right there. What that does is the 7 inches has to do with the thickness of the railroad ties. Now, when I got another deal of railroad ties, I got better ones. So they're more consistent in thickness and width. So recommendation, spend an extra little bit of money, maybe $5 more per railroad tie. It's worth it because your dimensions are more stable. I ran into some problems out there because some of the railroad ties were different widths and different heights, and it kind of made it more difficult. So that's where we're at on the project. We're going to go ahead and get this side done today, or that's the idea, and I'll show you the finished product, and then I'll put the downspouts in too, so you can see what that looks like. And then we just got to fill with back dirt, put our landscape fabric down, and we're ready to put some trees in. Alright, later.